Hey guys, and welcome back to the Fortress. On today's video I'm going to be posting part 3 of the Halcon trip. It's the Johnny Young Bosch and Garrett Wang Q&A. Garrett was asking all the questions to Johnny, so it was really the Johnny Young Bosch Q&A. We went to that one because Skeptic, who's a massive fan of Johnny, really wanted to see it. I managed to slip in shortly after getting my autograph from Mark Shepard, and I'm glad I did. It was a really good time and two funny guys. So here's a little bit of footage, I think 20 minutes or so. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Flinging.
Yeah.
Oh,
Goodness, this is awesome.
Thank you.
I bet you didn't know that.
That's right.
Huh?
She didn't know that about
Put
Johnny.
that on Wikipedia.
Hi there. I have two questions for you. One, if you could be any character, like one that you voiced or another one, who would you be and why?
Who, if I could be anyone?
Yeah, if you could be anyone.
Any other character that he's already done?
Even one of his too.
Oh.
Anyone.
Okay. Well then, if I'd probably pick Lelouch. Only yeah. Some of you are like, why? Because he can control people, and that just seems it's easier to be like, I Lelouch Britannia command you to make me a sandwich, and then someone make me a sandwich. It'd be really nice.
That's good. That's good.
And also, since you're a voice actor, how did you get started into music? Like, how did you start iShine?
Actually, thank you for that question. iShine is the name of my band, EYESHINE. All right, thanks all 5 of you for listening to us. And we haven't been to Canada that much. Only I think once we did an acoustic thing. But basically it was after Power Rangers, and at that time, when was that, like 97 or something like that? I can't remember. But it was really hard for me to get a job. Like, it was really tough, and it's maybe because I don't look totally Asian. I look like somewhere in between, except in the mornings.
So racist.
I know, half of me is offended by it. I'm sorry. But it was really tough for me to get a job, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I had this guitar in my head that I told myself I'm going to learn how to play, and I kind of gone through a little depression because I couldn't get a job, and I was like bouncing around from place to place. Not really homeless, but I didn't really have a home. I had like a broken cot and 2 bags full of clothes. And so that time was like just a really bad time for me, but I started to teach myself to play the guitar. And it brought me out of that funk that I was in. And in the back of my mind, I thought, it'd be kind of cool to have a band to do the same sort of thing and just have a good message, I guess. And so I kind of just went around looking for other people that wanted to play. And that's really how it started. And it wasn't like, we're going to go save the world. It was just like, we just want to write music that makes us feel good and about whatever, and see if we can connect with people.
So you could have named it A Cot and 2 Bags of Clothes. Instead, you went with iShine.
Yeah.
How did iShine come about? What was that?
Before that we had, like, it was hard to find. It's hard to think of a band name.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
It's very tough, but we couldn't, like, we had one that was like, any of you guys artists, like, you draw or anything like that? Okay, so there are a few of you. Okay, so you know how when you first start drawing, and you're thinking like, wow, I'm getting good, and you put it in a drawer, and then like a few months later, you open it up, and it's like one arm's longer than the other. You're like, what are you thinking, And that was kind of when we started off with Partly Cloudy. Okay, and that's really that's our first name was Partly Cloudy. And I don't know why. But it's so clever because it'd be a household name already. The news would talk about us all the time. It's like we'd sneak in. No,
followed by the bad chance of showers. Okay.
Right. But so anyways, it dawned on me that it was a dumb name. And I was watching The Crocodile Hunter. And it was at night, and he was on a lake at night with a lantern. He's looking for crocs. And he's like, you gotta look for the iShine. And he just kept saying that. And he'd dive in, you look for the iShine, and then wrap duct tape around the mouth. I'm saving him. And he just kept saying that, and it just stuck. And after that episode, I was like, iShine, perfect.
Wow.
So that's how the name
I like that. You know what I also like? Backstage, when I walk up to Johnny goes, so you have? And I go, I'm whole. Talk about Asian, you know what I'm saying? Right? You need to see it because we already know. He's like, you half? Nah, I'm home.
Yeah.
The thing is, I look like I could be half though.
You
I
do
could
look
like,
like
yeah,
you
I could
could
be
be
mixed up with
half.
something else.
Yeah.
Yes, but because Bosch is German, so you have German father and,
Right.
and Korean mother.
That's
Is that
right.
right? So what is your Korean mother's maiden name?
It's Han Young Chin.
So the last name is Han.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right, thanks for sharing that with me.
Yeah, hey, no problem.
Okay. Cool.
Just-
Next question.
Thank you.
No problem.
So you played Adam on Power Rangers, and you came back for Overdrive with Once a Ranger. Would you ever consider coming back for, say, like Dino Charge? Because isn't Jay Austin rumored to be re-signed with Saban?
I don't know if any of those guys are going back. I talk to a few of them occasionally, but I'm not like, hey, you going back to Power Rangers? And it's not something that I'm like, oh, I want to go back or whatever. I had a good time, and I've gone back a couple times for Space and for Overdrive, and I wouldn't be opposed to it because I don't think. I mean, it's something I did, you know, and it wasn't a bad thing. I don't think there's gonna ever be like, it's like Gilligan or something. I don't think it's locking me into it, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. But I have not been invited. I did get an email for the Mega something, that one, yeah, and that's how bad I am with. But I got an email and I responded to that email. They just wanted to know if I'd be interested. It was a mass email to like a bunch of us, and so I responded back, but I didn't hear anything. So that's how I communicate with those guys, the producers. Oh yeah, how you doing? No.
But that was just your stepping stone. That was it, right? That's your first.
Yeah, it's a start, you know. It was my first gig
Yes.
after Subway.
There you go.
Yeah.
1993, is that right?
Around 94.
94, okay.
is when I came on.
Because it's very funny. We're very similar because my first gig was Burger King. You had Subway, I had Burger King. 94, I got cast of Voyager. 94, you got Power Rangers.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that.
Half whole.
Yeah.
Yes, sir? Oh, yeah, that was your question. Sorry.
Thank you.
I know, the mic needs to be adjusted. Margaret, where are you?
Am I allowed to ask a question about 375? Like, can we have any details about that? Are you gonna need it or anything?
Actually, I have no details for that, and I can't really answer some.
Sorry, or we did have to kill you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry.
We just can't have that. We can't
In fact, I'm sorry. You have to die now.
Yeah.
That's okay, thank you.
Thank you for asking that secret question.
Hey, so first I want to go back to Devil May Cry 4. I just want to say, like, when I started playing this game, I was like, who the hell is this guy? This isn't Dante. I heard your voice coming out and I was like, forget Dante. Anyway, so as a voice actor, you've had to say a lot of lines over the years. Have you ever like looked at a line and thought like, this is just dumb, or like this is just too silly?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that happens so often, you know, where you're like, what? Who wrote this? You know, are you the 5-year-old? But no, that happens a lot, actually, you know, and sometimes you just have to do it, you know, because you don't have a choice. Other times, you know, it depends on what the show is and how long you've been working on it, or if the director is kind of on the same level as you. It's like, yeah, this is dumb, let's change it, you know. It really depends on the project, but it's happened a number of times.
All right, so can I get you to say something really dumb for me now that that's out of the way?
Okay, sure.
Can you say Ron Polanski like you're really mad at him?
Ron Polanski?
That's just a dude I made up.
Oh, okay. I'm angry at him.
Yeah, you hate him.
Ron Polanski!
Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah, no problem. There might have been slight confusion in that anger.
I just hope there's no Ron Polanski in this audience right now. They'll be like, oh my God, Johnny hates me. All right, next.
Hi. Can you recite your favorite line when you were doing Isaiah? I believe I pronounced that correctly.
Oh my gosh. Isaiah, my favorite line? I don't remember hardly any of those lines. It's been a while. Gosh.
You have to understand, as actors, when we, whether it's voiceover or not, we do it and then it goes right out.
Yeah, you kind of have to let it go.
Yes.
Especially
bizarre line. Was there a bizarre line that was insight.
I can't think
Something
of
really
anything
freaky.
really bizarre. I mean, I remember his laugh when he's jumping on the girl's cell phone.
How's that sound? How's the laugh?
All right, well, I'll do the laugh.
Do the laugh.
Okay. I'm bored now.
Hi. So one of my first animes was Wolf's Rain, and I absolutely
Yeah.
loved it. Me and my best friend kind of talk about it now and again, and her favorite character is Kiba.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your favorite quality Kiba had?
Just, I mean, for me, it was like that was like the second thing I think I worked on, voiceover wise. And the first was Vash and Trigun, and he's goofy and wild. And then when I went into the audition for Wolf's Rain, it was so cool. Like, have you guys seen Wolf's Rain? Some of you? You know that opening scene when he's on the snow and the music is like
Yeah.
freaking amazing, and he's got that bit of dialogue that he's saying there. Like that was the audition, and they played that, and I was like, this character sounds so cool. I don't think I can do it, you know. Yeah, I just remember like if it wasn't for the music, if they didn't have the music playing there right before going into it, then I don't know if I could have nailed it. But that music just really, I was able to just zone into it.
Yeah, Kiba's pretty badass.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites actually. It's one that they didn't really market very well. There's not like a bunch of like shirts and toys and whatnot, but a really great story.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking that. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. Thank you. One person will go, yeah.
Hi. I wanted to know how it felt to be the only ranger on Operation Overdrive to do their own stunts.
I mean, it was cool. It was because like the others, I guess after like somewhere down the line after our season, they all like had powers and could do things. But yeah, ours was very old school. We just like fought. We just punched things and they blow up. Because that's what happens in real life with us. That's why we got the job. But yeah, no, it was cool. It was kind of special to be able to. All right, cool. I get to do some stuff.
Yeah, it was weird because it was like I was watching. I was like stunt double, stunt double, stunt double. Oh, Johnny doing a flip, another flip. Oh, he's going through a tractor. Yeah.
Right.
It was really cool.
Yeah, you can tell when it goes over to them, and because the stunt guys are always covering their face, you know, like that. It's a little obvious, but they have to do it that way, you know, just because the other guys.
But that's how you know it's a stunt guy. They always do the face.
Yeah, they kind of cover. They're clever at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can tell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey again.
Hey.
So I was wondering about the animes that you watch, because you mentioned that you watched Persona 4 the animation. I was wondering if you had like a particular favorite in general, or if you had like a favorite line for one. Because I really like when Narukami just says like, "I might be dying," he gets his finger bit.
A favorite one just in general?
Yeah.
Just, Akira was one of the first ones that I saw that I knew was like anime. Yeah, so getting that role was sweet, but what was it? Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust? That was awesome. Or Ninja Scroll. Did you guys see Ninja Scroll?
What did you did voice in that too?
I did not, no. Oh, I did not voice that. I know, but that was one
Oh,
when
I love
I
that.
first saw it, I was like, whoa.
Whoa, I know. Ditto.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
I was wondering what your favorite moment being Nero was from No Minecraft.
My favorite moment? Like, as
As
a
the
character?
Or if you have a funny story of being a voice actor as well, please tell.
I don't really have a funny story, I don't think. I mean, that was weird. It was really cool, but, I mean, because we went to Japan and we did the motion capture, and it was just weird because they had like cameras on your face, you know, that follow you around, and that camera always looks really weird. And you have it was basically spandex sort of, and they had like shiny balls all over. Just doing that was fun. I think character-wise, I liked. I was able to add a couple of things. Like I remember one of the characters stutters, and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make fun of that in this line. So I made fun of his stuttering. But I really liked, I guess, I'm trying not to spoil anything at the same time, but, you know, his love interest, I guess, you know, when she's kind of taken away, and just that whole thing when he's inside and just going crazy.
Just
That
punching the ground.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. No, thank you.
Hello again, Senpai.
Hey.
So I have two related questions. The first one is, you've done a lot of variety in what you've done. You've done voice acting for video games and anime, and you've done live action. Like, what is your favorite to do among those kind of things?
Oh man, that's it just depends on the role, really. I don't know. It's hard because it's all really fun for me. You know, it's all play for me. You know, like I think that's all I've got is like the creative thing going for me. Like, I'm not saying that I'm dumb, but math, and forget about it. You know, gosh, I don't know. Maybe I would, if I had to choose one thing, then I think maybe I would choose music, only because that's 100% from me. Instead of, like, if I'm working on something else, those things are great, but it's someone else's idea that they wrote and I get to be a part of it, which is awesome. But with the music, it's like I get to create it, and then, you know, so if I'm playing and people know a certain song or whatever, then there's that connection is real, you know.
Okay. The other one I had was for Persona 4. You did voices for both the game and the animation. So I was wondering, like, how was that very different, or did you have to like do a lot of changes when you did one after the other? Or?
On the animation, you mean?
Yeah.
The games, yeah, I mean, it was harder with the animation only because I knew that they're going to be talking to each other. You know, the antagonist and protagonist, and I was playing both. And so I knew that I had to find a way to, at first I was like, can I just play one and you hire somebody else? And they're like, no. Okay. And so I basically, there were certain things that I did with Adachi in the game, and so I basically chose one level of him that was like, I basically took Adachi this way and Narukami this way, just so that they weren't really in this area, so there's enough separation, you know, and I got to bring back the game Adachi at the very end in that confrontation with each other, when he goes crazy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Hey.
Hi. I was actually, I appreciate like your roles in like almost everything I've seen you in. Like I've watched Trigon, I've watched Lelouch in the Code Geass series. I've watched pretty much a lot of things like I didn't even realize you were in until like afterwards, which shows off some awesome range actually. But my biggest question was, is there like, any role that you've actually kind of wanted to do but never got a chance to do? Like I know that like recently Fairy Tail is getting translated, or some other stuff is like recently getting translated, and is there any roles you tried to get into but never actually got a chance to?
I mean, that happens all the time. You audition for, you know, you audition for as much as you can, and it doesn't always work out. I guess Naruto, in the beginning, before I started working at the studio, this specific studio, I knew that they were doing Naruto, and I knew it was fairly big, anime-wise, and so they had like 15, 20 male characters. And so I asked somebody who knew that it was going on over there, and if I can get in and do some auditions. He said, sure, come on in. And I was like, really? I just go, okay. And so I show up, and there's like I said, like 15, 20 characters, male characters. And they're like, just pick, you know, which character you want to audition for, and then, you know, we'll give it a shot. And I was just like, I just took them all, you know, like, we'll try all of them, you know. And so I went in, and as I was working on each one of them, you know, the guy who was engineering, directing, was like, that was amazing. Oh, you nailed that one. Wow, that was just like that, you know. And so like every one of them, like every single one of them, I was like, wow, I must be doing good. And, you know, I was like, I'm definitely gonna get one of these characters, and I didn't get any of them. And months go by, and then I get a call to come in and do some to audition for Bleach, and I got that role. And eventually they're like, here's some random ninjas that die. Like I die like 20 or 30 times in Naruto. I'm like every ninja village, but I die. But, and so I'm in there, and they finally give me Genma and then, you know, and Sasori. But Mary the director was asking, like, John, why didn't you audition for any of these other characters when they first started? you audition for all sorts of stuff. As an actor, you just have to be good at rejection. Yeah.
I mean, I hope for like the best for you in the future because you're an amazing actor.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.